it seems harmless. It's like, oh, well, if I share, I don't want to share, and so what's the big deal? And right, so the ego comes in and is like, I'll hurt my family. So that was this one specific example, but I've heard this a million times. So a woman comes in and is like, oh, what if I make other women feel bad if I'm posting about how happy I am and how amazing? And I get that question in different forms. And so it's like, what you're asking me is, can I hurt somebody by being love? And the answer is no. The answer is always no. And the answer has always been, no, you cannot hurt somebody by being love. So if we're actually going to get real and dig down and come to the truth, the only reason we hide is because we're afraid that we're going to be rejected. So we can use the excuse, I don't want to hurt my family, or I don't want to, but sharing our own journey and where we used to be and the new us, it doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. I could easily share my story with you without even talking about anyone else, and energetically women who were in abusive relationships or were sexually abused would just be attracted to me, or women who and this is another thing, is I have so many women who haven't even had any abuse, but they have the same problems that I used to have, so they're attracted to me. So I wouldn't even need to even mention anybody else's name, but because this is my purpose and this is how I lift the vibration of Mother Earth and how I connect. Yeah, obviously I do share my stories because I have completely exposed myself. So that means that nobody can hurt me. That means that I'm not afraid of being judged. I've exposed myself, so no longer do I have the fear of, are my Instagram followers gonna unfollow me? Oh my God, are my school friends gonna know? Like, I don't have that fear. And so it's impossible to hide and be free, right? So I really want you to feel this. It's like, your ego is saying, oh, I don't need to do that. And everybody has this. It's like, bitch, you think that your excuse is so great and that you're the only one that tells yourself that you can hide and it's fine and you don't need to do what all of the other leaders, every leader in the entire world, name one leader in the entire world who has not exposed themselves that you look up to. So a leader that's full of love and abundance and you can feel and you're inspired and you know they're courageous and you truly feel their vibration. Name one that is hiding. Name one that is afraid of being, that's not exposed themselves. And it's impossible because you can't be free and hide. You can't share love with everybody and share love with nobody. You can't connect to everyone and everything. We are interconnected on this earth. Everyone and everything is connected. You cannot be interconnected while you're disconnected. You see, you can only be on one side of the fence. So it's not sharing publicly is going to enlighten you. However, it's that when we are connected and when we are healed, we are free. And so then sharing publicly is no longer a threat. Sharing publicly can't hurt us. When we feel love, when we're that full of love and that connected, the next step, there isn't, you can't be interconnected and healed and then not want to be able to openly share because you have so much love. What happens is it just flows and floods, and that's what that means. That's why I do all these free workshops. That's why I do this podcast. That's why I share on my social media account. And there's a really beautiful story. I've got my leg up here if you're watching on video. I'm like a full flamingo. I always like to have my leg up on shit, on stoves. Every time I'm in the kitchen on the counter, I got my leg up. So if you're wondering, if you're watching on video on YouTube or Instagram, that's my knee. Okay, so the beautiful story about this too is I was doing a healing session in my purpose program 2 weeks ago, and I would have never, if I would have hidden because I was afraid of being judged, then I wouldn't be a leader and I wouldn't have broken through. Because when I was hiding everything, my sexual abuse and getting myself into all these scary relationships because I didn't have love, when I was hiding that, it's because I hadn't fixed it. We only hide what we haven't fixed. We only hide what we're afraid of. We only hide what we're ashamed of. We don't have secrets because they're these incredible, beautiful things. We have secrets because we're in pain. So it's a personal problem. It's not about social media. It's not about Facebook. It's not about your family. It's not about your mom. It's not about your ex. It's your personal problem. You have pain and you're not ready to face it. So that's the problem. It has nothing to do with public. So obviously what we're hiding, we can't heal. So I've just heard this again from one of my new beautiful clients, April, shout out to you, and Tia was the first one that said this. They're like, you were the first one that I heard to get nasty. Like, you were the first one to admit all your crazy shit. You were the first one to actually talk about our real fears, and you weren't hiding it, and you talked about all the mistakes you made, and you talked about how you felt, and that just spoke to me. Like, you just spoke to me through Instagram. And so that's my jam. It's like, that's how this source energy comes through me. It comes through me in these truths of the old Lonnie and how much dog shit that I used to eat. So we're doing this healing session in my purpose program 2 weeks ago, and I have this beautiful woman who, Corrine, shout out to you. She is so beautiful. She is a queen, and she has made some epic, mind-blowing, life-changing transformations that have just created this love domino effect. So Corrine, big shout out to you, sister. I love you and I'm so proud of you. So we're doing this healing session, and it just so happens where she's still holding on. She was, not today, but 2 weeks ago, was still holding on to a painful relationship that was not in love, was not serving her, and was a low frequency, and it was out of fear of not being enough, fear of being alone, and that's the only reason why we hold on to toxic and low vibe relationships. It's not because it's the other person's problem, it's because we don't believe we're worthy of more, and we're afraid that, it's like, oh, eating dog shit is it's either eating dog shit or starving. It's like we have two options. Oh, I'll either stay in this shitty relationship and eat dog shit because if I leave, then I'll starve. And I'm telling you, there are infinite options. So if those are your only two options, goddamn girl, you need some help, right? That's a neuron pathway in your brain that is I call it a broken belief. That is a broken belief because you're not where you are. You're not broken. It's not because you're not good enough. It's the belief is broken, right? The habit is broken. So we all know why. I did the same thing. And it doesn't even matter if it's romantically or relationship-wise, but obviously they're all coming from the root stem. I'm holding on to this shitty relationship because I don't believe I'm worthy of anything more. Fact. Drop a bomb on you. Write that one down, bitch. You better have your notes out when we're doing this. So fear, right? I'm not enough. And so she's standing there, and it's scary because it blows my mind when people think they're not supposed to be afraid. I'm like, whoever said that? Where did you ever read that? What the fuck? That's crazy talk. Fear is built into the nervous system. You'll never not have it. And that's my gauge of knowing that I'm growing. Because if we're not growing, we're dying. And I am the most courageous I've ever been in my life. I'm one of the most courageous women I've ever met. And it's not because I didn't feel fear. It's because my courage muscle is so strong. Because we only get courage from feeling fear first. So I felt fear so many times, and I've done it anyway. So that's why I'm such a boss and I'm so courageous. It's not because I had a magic pill or because it's easier for me or because fear just goes away. I've trained my muscle, so it's really freaking strong. And I'm super grateful for that and proud of it. And that's how I can show up today with all this energy and share all of my extra love, because it floods through me because I'm in such good shape spiritually. So she's scared because everybody in the world is, and she decides to rise up because we can either rise up to my frequency or we can drop down to the old us who makes excuses and those low vibe relationships. And she's just open, and I'm just speaking the truth. I am the frequency, right? Because I'm not doing anything for anybody or holding anything for anybody. My language is I am the frequency. I have had this happen 3 times, and I thought, dude, if this has happened 3 times, with my group of women, then obviously there are millions of other women who listen to the podcast and need to hear this, or if you listen to the podcast and your friend needs to hear this, pass it on. So Corrine in that moment was so afraid. I don't want to let go of that, right? All the reasons. I have kids, I'm 40, it's too hard, but she did it anyway. So she stands up and she rises and she grabs her wedding rings to take them off. And I was like, obviously I don't make anybody to do anything, and I don't tell anybody to do anything. So we make it very clear that everything is in alignment with you because you're not 5, you know the truth and you know what you need to do. And she grabs them to take them off. And so we get really clear on, we don't go back. We don't put them on. We don't, him and ha, we don't procrastinate. We don't regret it. This is the way that I work, and my philosophy is we make a decision, we decide, and we don't do the ups and downs anymore. We go for it full on. So she's like, freaking yes, I feel it, I want it. I've got goosebumps. Everyone's cheering her on. So she takes off her wedding rings, and everyone's just like, I'm covered in goosebumps right now. And it was so beautiful because yes, it's a ring, but to her, that was a big symbol of letting go, of I'm done, of I am free. It was the symbol, it was the freedom that she was looking for, right? It's not about what we say, it's about how we feel. So for her, it was the feeling, it was the healing. So she takes it off and everybody feels this huge release. We all have goosebumps. Everyone's like, ah! And so it's so amazing and so bomb. So then so let's see. So I do a strategy session with a woman who her friend has been in the program, and she's like, she's a new woman. She's completely changed. What the heck? Whatever she's done, I need to start this program. So we get into what are your problems, and we'll see if I have the solutions and if we're a good personality match. So it's the same thing. It's like I got cheated on in this relationship. It's been stressful. We've been disconnected for a long time and we've separated. I've moved out and obviously I need help letting go because I don't feel like I'm good enough. And same story that everybody has. Same reason I was afraid to let go of past relationships. Same reason Corrine was afraid to let go. Girl, same reason we're all afraid to let go. So we're on the phone and her energy's rising. She's totally ready. She's committed. She's scared shitless, but she's committed because guess what? The pain of staying the same was so bad that she has no choice but to change. So we're standing there. It's actually Christmas Eve. And she's like, I just took my rings off. And I'm like, oh my, and I felt this huge sensation of energy and goosebumps. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I literally just went through this with Corrine. Like, oh my God, this is crazy. She's like, I'm ready, I'm in, right? That was her symbol. Like I can't let go of this because I'm not enough. And that was her symbol. I'm ready to learn how to love myself. Hell yes. Like that was it for me. I'm like, you're in. So she's in.